You guys probably know Astro Boy, right? You know how it's old and a little bit goofy? Now imagine what would happen if we gave it a new coat of paint, updated its story for modern audiences, and have it be written by the legendary Naoki Urasawa? Well, you get one of the most incredible anime released this past decade. Pluto. Pluto is a retelling of an arc from Osamu Tezuka's iconic manga Astro Boy. But you don't need to know anything about Astro Boy to enjoy this. I certainly didn't. Just look at this guy. Why is he doing that? Why would I watch this? The story takes place far into the future during the year 2010. Technology has reached a point where robots are advanced enough to coexist with humans, which opens a floodgate of unintended consequences, and Pluto drops you right into the middle of it all with the murder of Mont Blanc. Mont Blanc was no ordinary robot. He was one of 7 robots powerful enough to be considered weapons of mass destruction. And this killing was not some isolated incident. Throughout the world, major influential people with connections to robotics have been murdered one by one, all being connected by the set of horns marking their body. However, it is just the tip of the iceberg because as it goes on, you slowly start to unravel just how deep the rabbit hole that is this story goes.
The Roman god of the dead was Pluto.
I remember the section where I realized this was something truly remarkable. The second half of episode 1 is about a man named Paul Duncan, a highly respected film composer who is now just a miserable, blind old man living inside a remote Scottish castle. Until one day, his newest butler arrives, a robot named North Number 2. North Number 2 was originally built to be a weapon of war. During the 39th Central Asian War, he annihilated thousands of his own kind. But now he is just a mere butler, serving an old man who has nothing pleasant to say to him. Paul just kind of looks down on all robots. To him, they are nothing but processing chips that are programmed to do as they're told. And that's exactly what North Number 2 does. But then, for some reason, this robot, who was created solely to be a weapon used as a tool of war, finds himself wishing to understand music. He wants to learn the piano. He wants to exist for something other than war. And so he tries to learn the piano. And even after Paul scolds him for playing, he keeps going. North Number 2 makes it his purpose to complete the song Paul has been unable to finish, one that is linked to his past through incomplete memories. And after North Number 2 digs into Paul's past and ties the missing memories together, he discovers the final pieces needed to complete this song. And Paul is so moved by this that he vows to teach him piano and complete this song together. And it's heartwarming seeing the way they both change. The robot who'd only known war was able to find a new purpose in life. And the bitter old man rotting away in his castle has finally found solace in something. As Paul finishes the song they have been working tirelessly to finish, North Number 2 senses something approaching. The same entity responsible for Mont Blanc's killing has come for him. He prepares to fight this creature head on, but despite his best efforts, North Number 2 is not powerful enough to stop him, and is taken out. The scene of him humming the melody of their song as he falls from the sky always brings me to tears. This is just one self-contained story within the grander storyline of Pluto, and it managed to make me cry for a robot that I didn't even know for an hour. There are other stories which I also love that can't do the same throughout their entire runtime, yet this one little story did it so easily. It's a goddamn masterclass in storytelling. But what exactly is going on here? What is inside this tornado targeting the world's most advanced robots? Who is responsible for these string of murders occurring throughout the world? And how does this all tie back to the 39th Central Asian War? It's these mysteries that drive this story forward, and I can't emphasize enough how masterfully they managed to build them up. Each piece of information slowly unravels a much grander conspiracy that is slowly engulfing the world. Something far larger is playing out from forces we know nothing about. There are so many moving parts in this story and somehow none of it feels unnecessary. I don't want to talk about the actual plot too much here. It's a story best experienced with as few spoilers as possible. It's crazy that all of it is based on a story written over 60 years ago. Seeing comparisons between Astro Boy and Pluto, it's impressive that Urasawa even managed to turn this old cartoony story into a dark gritty manga and have it work this well. I've never seen Astro Boy before, so I'm not sure how much is directly lifted from the original, but these cartoony characters and world have been transformed into people that feel so real, with a setting that's been fully fleshed out and developed. Astro Boy and even Pluto, to a lesser extent, were written during a time when people's views on the future of technology was much more optimistic than it is now. The technological future of Pluto isn't dystopian, it feels very hopeful. It's a world where technology has improved the lives of so many, but it also doesn't shy away from showing the bleaker consequences that have resulted from these advancements. There are activists who fight for robots to have rights and equality. On the opposite side, you have anti-robot hate groups who believe robots are nothing but machines created to serve mankind, and also wear suspiciously similar dress wear to certain real-life groups.
Keep it pushing, you dirty fucking clanker.
Some robots are so powerful they are considered weapons of mass destruction, and anyone attempting to produce one is a threat to the world's order. Even just the suspicion that a country is creating one is enough to incite major world conflicts. Can you tell that this was written in 2003?
Now watch this drive.
They've managed to make a universe filled with futuristic cities and sentient robots seem so real. These robots end up feeling more human than the actual humans sometimes do. Like, look at this dude. When he first showed up, I thought he looked a bit goofy for someone meant to be a weapon of mass destruction, especially in his funny looking mech suit, yet I cried for him. I cried a lot watching this anime, which is strange because even during shows that have impacted me even more than Pluto did, I didn't cry nearly as much. Pluto is a story about the consequences of war, the never-ending cycle of hatred, what it even means to be human, and much, much more. It's a goddamn brilliant piece of media that everyone should watch. But unfortunately, the Pluto anime never received the amount of attention that I think it deserved. Pluto is by no means unsuccessful. The manga sold over 10 million copies and the anime is beloved by thousands. However, its release was underwhelming for an anime of this quality, and 2 years later, very few people are still talking about it. I'm not going to act like I know exactly why this was the case, but I think a major factor in the lack of success was Netflix's poor handling of it. Instead of the typical weekly release schedule most anime follow, Pluto had every episode released in a single batch, and this just killed any hype the series could have had. The weekly release schedule allows anime to stay in the news cycle for much longer, and Netflix's strategy just kind of killed any momentum this show could have had. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen them do this to a popular anime. Couple this with the fact that fall 2023 was a season filled with so many good, popular anime, and Pluto just never stood a chance. That being said, this doesn't have to be the end of Pluto's story. There are countless examples of incredible works not getting the recognition they deserve until years, even decades after their release. Pluto is one of the best anime to come out these past couple years, and with time, hopefully that fact is enough for it to remain something future anime fans will still be watching. I have been Goob, and thank you all for watching, and until next time, take it easy.